Hello friends, I'm Sunita Fadkule, Professor in Mechanical Engineering, working at JSPM Jaivantrao Sound College of Engineering, Hadapsar, Pune. Today we are going to learn force vibration, support oblique base excitation. Okay, so what is the response due to support oblique base excitation? Learning outcome will be you will be able to analyze the response to the force vibration due to support and base excitation. In earlier lecture, what we have learned, see this is the recap. We have learned two types of responses in earlier lecture. First was due to external excitation. So what was the equation of motion? Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx is equal to Fo sin omega t. And what was the steady state amplitude? Capital X is equal to Xo, which is zero frequency deflection, upon square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square, full bracket square, plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n square. Okay, then the angle of that is phase angle was given by phi is equal to tan inverse 2 zeta omega upon omega n upon 1 minus omega upon omega n square. Okay, then we have studied magnification factor, which is the ratio of steady state amplitude to the zero frequency deflection, which is given as 1 upon the square root of whole things. Okay, then we have studied second case, that is force vibration due to unbalanced mass. Okay, so what was the equation of motion? We have derived mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to mo e omega square sin omega t. Okay, then the steady state amplitude in dimensionless form is given by x upon moe upon m is equal to omega upon omega n square upon the whole square root. Okay, this, as I told you, this square root is common in all terms. Okay, then phase angle was the same. Now if we compare these two say cases, okay, that means first is force vibration due to external excitation and second is force vibration due to unbalanced force. So we got Fo is equal to Mo E omega square. Okay, so what was the major difference between these two cases? In the first case, that is due to external excitation, force is remaining constant, it is independent of speed, that is omega. But in second case, that is force vibration due to unbalanced force, the force is dependent on omega. If omega changes, the magnitude of Fo changes. Okay, so this was recap. Now today we are going to study the third case, okay, which is force vibration due to excitation of support, or which is also known as a base. Okay, so up till now what we have studied, that support or base was fixed, it is assumed to be fixed, it was not vibrating. Okay, but there are few cases where support may also vibrate. For example, in case of locomotive or vehicles, your wheels are acting as a supports. Okay, so because of the wheels, vibration of the wheels, your chassis will also vibrate. So there is a relative motion between the wheels and chassis and road and wheels. Okay, so this is the example of the say support excitation. Or this theory, you can say, or concept is also utilized in design of the vibration measuring instruments, where we assume that the support is vibrating. Okay, so that concept is used in vibration measuring instruments. Okay, so let us study now this case in detail. So as we have learned that x is the displacement of the mass. Okay, so here we will use the different parameters, that is y. Okay, so in the vibratory system where the support is also having vibration, okay, there are two cases we have to study. One is absolute motion, other is relative motion. Okay, so what is the say equation of the support which is vibrating with what SHM? that is given by small y is equal to capital Y sine omega t. See, this is the diagram. So this is your spring K stiffness. Then this is the damper having damping coefficient C. This is the mass which is vibrating. Okay, and here this support is also vibrating. That means it is also moving with the motion or with the displacement small y. So small y is given by capital Y sine omega t. What is capital Y? It is the amplitude of vibration of support. Okay. Now if we draw the free body diagram, there are three forces acting. Okay. One is spring force, other is damping force, and third one is the inertia force. Okay. Now see here, what is the relative displacement of this mass with respect to support. Up till now your support was fixed in first two cases. So spring force was simply kx and damping force was simply c into x dot. But here as support is also vibrating, so at a time if we assume that at this instant your mass is going down by amount x and your support is also going down by amount y, then what will be the relative motion of this mass? X minus y. That's why the spring force is k into x minus y and damping force is c into x dot minus y dot by differentiating x minus y. Okay, so applying the Newton's second not Newton's second law, we are going to apply D'Alembert's principle. Okay, but before that one, as I told you, we have to study two cases. Part A is absolute motion. Okay, that is further we are going to study that this is also known as a motion transmissibility, or this concept is used as a motion transmissibility. Okay, so let us let x be the absolute amplitude of mass m. Okay, then the equation of motion is derived by using D'Alembert's principle. So what is D'Alembert's principle? Summation of F is equal to 0. So all these forces are acting upward. Okay, because your mass is moving down, so all the forces are upward. So upward direction we are considering positive. Hence mx double dot plus c into x dot minus y dot plus k into x minus y is equal to 0. Open this bracket. Mx double dot plus cx dot minus cy dot plus kx minus ky is equal to 0. So what are the terms of y are there? No, those you take on the right hand side. So mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to ky plus cy dot. This is the equation of motion. But we are not going to use it as it is. We have to convert it into some different parameters. Okay, so let us analyze it. We know that y is given by capital Y into sine omega t. Okay, therefore what will be y dot, that is differentiating this equation? Y dot is equal to capital Y omega into cos omega t. Okay, so putting the value of this y and y dot into this equation, that is equation 2. Okay, so what we will get? Mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx on left hand side, this is constant, is equal to, put the value of y, so it will be k into capital Y sine omega t plus, put the value of omega dot here, so it will y dot here, so it will be c omega y into cos omega t. Okay, what you can take here common? Capital Y. So mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to capital Y is common. So what is remaining in the bracket? K sine omega t plus c omega cos omega t. Okay. Now here we have to learn this parameter in terms of force vector or transmissibility vector. That's why we have to assume certain thing. Okay. So let us assume K is given by Z into cos alpha. What do you mean by Z? That I will tell you later on. Just here assume that Z is one parameter. Okay. So K is equal to Z cos alpha and C omega is equal to Z sin alpha. Now why here only I have taken cos and here we have taken sin? Because see, you know the formula, sin A plus B is equal to sin A into cos B plus cos A into sin B. So here there is a sin omega t term. So I want this K in terms of cos. That's why we have assumed K is equal to Z cos alpha. and here there is a cos omega t term. So c omega should be in sine term. That's why c omega is equal to z into sine alpha. Understood? Okay. Now just divide this. We have to define tan alpha. So divide this equation by this equation. So z sine alpha upon z cos alpha is equal to c omega upon k. Okay, sine alpha upon cos alpha is tan alpha, z will be cancelled. So alpha is equal to tan inverse c omega upon k. Okay, now c omega upon k, earlier also we have written in terms of zeta or omega n, because zeta we can easily find out. Okay, so how do you write down c omega upon k in terms of zeta? Let us see that. Let us write down c omega upon k is equal to divide by cc multiply by cc, divide by 2m multiply by 2m. So remaining term will be as it is. Okay, so c omega upon k is equal to c upon cc into cc upon 2m into 2m upon k into omega. Okay, now what do you mean by c upon cc? It is zeta. What do you mean by cc upon 2m? It is omega n. Okay, that is the definition of critical damping coefficient. Cc is equal to 2m omega n. Then if you take this m below k, so what do you mean by k upon m? It is omega n square. So this term will become 2 upon omega n square, this omega as it is. Okay, so what will you get? C omega upon k is equal to 2 zeta omega upon omega n. This earlier also we have seen. So this you must have by hearted by now. Okay, and further also you will recall whenever there is a term c omega upon k, you can write down 2 zeta omega upon omega n, because we want to analyze everything in terms of frequency ratio. Okay, omega upon omega n, all the variation of damping factor of different amplitudes we are going to study, or we are going to analyze in terms of frequency ratio. That's why c omega upon k we always write down as 2 zeta omega upon omega n. Okay, so this alpha will be given now. Alpha is equal to tan inverse 2 zeta omega upon omega n. Understood? Now we have to, from this equation, what we'll do, see, this is your equation. Okay, equation 3. Now here we are going to put the value of k and c omega into equation 3. Okay, so left hand side will remain as it is, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to, y will also remain as it is. What's the value of k? Z cos alpha into sine omega t, plus what's the value of c omega? Z sine alpha into cos omega t. So same is written here. Okay, then before that one, what we did, we have square this term and added this term, that is k square plus c omega bracket square is equal to what? Z square into bracket cos square alpha plus sine square alpha. Okay, first we have done this operation. So z square into bracket cos square alpha plus sine square alpha is equal to k square plus c omega bracket square. You know cos square alpha plus sine square alpha is 1. So z square is equal to k square plus c omega bracket square. So what do you mean by z? Square root of k square plus c omega square. Okay, now again we want this to write down in frequency ratio. So that's why we have to take k common. So k will be taken out of root sign. So z is equal to k into bracket 1 plus c omega upon k bracket square. Okay, because k we have divided here also and here also. Now you know what do you mean by c omega upon k? 2 zeta omega upon omega n. So what we'll get? Z is equal to k under root 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n square. Okay, then we have to simplify further. Okay, left side, see, consider this equation now, equation number 3. Okay, as I told you, left hand side will remain as it is. Here you have to put the value of k and c omega, these values. Okay, so what we will get, see here, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to y as it is. Now into bracket z cos alpha into sine omega t plus z sine alpha into cos omega t. Take z also out of bracket. So mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to yz into bracket. What is remaining now? Cos alpha sin omega t plus sin alpha cos omega t. Okay, that means cos A into sin B plus sin A into cos B. Okay, so this will be now here putting the value of z. Okay, we have found out this value of z. Z is equal to k under root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega in bracket square. Okay, so putting the value of z here, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to y. What is the value of z? K under root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega and square into cos alpha sin omega t plus sin alpha cos omega t. So this is equal to sin omega t plus alpha. Okay, so what will be your final equation? Mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to yk under root 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega and square into sin omega t plus alpha. Okay, so this is the equation of motion for force vibration due to support excitation. Okay, so this is known as the equation of motion of absolute motion. Okay, if we compare this equation with the equation first, that is a very initial equation, force vibration due to external excitation. What was that equation? Mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to Fo sin omega t. See, left hand side is common, so you can compare the right hand side. Okay, so here term is sin omega t plus alpha, here term is Fo sin omega t. Therefore Fo is equal to what? This complete term. Okay, therefore Fo is equal to yk square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega and square. Okay, now we have to compare these two cases. First case is force vibration due to external excitation, and second case is force vibration due to support excitation, only absolute equation of motion. Okay, so we have to compare their equations also and their solutions also. So here is the comparison table. Okay, so what is on left hand side? Force vibration due to external excitation. What is on the right hand side? Force vibration due to support excitation, absolute amplitude. Okay, so what is the first comparison? Here the equation of motion is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to Fo sin omega t, and here equation of motion is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to yk square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega and square into sin omega t plus alpha. Okay, then second comparison, that is of particular solution. What was the solution for force vibration due to external excitation? Xp, it is a particular solution, is equal to capital X into sin omega t minus phi, where capital X is what? Steady state amplitude. And what is the particular solution for this support excitation in absolute motion? Xp is equal to capital X, that is steady state amplitude, into sin, the angle is replaced by C, omega t minus phi, but here it is not omega t, it is omega t plus alpha. So what is the angle here? Omega t plus alpha minus phi. Understood? The third comparison is steady state amplitude. So steady state amplitude in terms of, in case of force vibration, is given by x is equal to xo. What is xo? Fo upon k. Okay, upon square root of, see the full square root, 1 minus omega upon omega and square bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega and square. Okay, so here x is equal to mf, magnification factor, into Fo upon k. So this xo is Fo upon k into magnification factor. What is the definition of magnification factor? 1 upon the whole square root. So in short, it can be written as x is equal to mf into Fo upon k. Now what is the amplitude, steady state amplitude in terms of support excitation? X is equal to, now see here, why we have written here, this is Fo upon k, no? How this has come? This is Fo upon k. So what is Fo? See, value of FO is this one. Okay, upon K. So this K and this K was cancelled upon K. So what is remaining? Y into under root 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n square upon the whole square root. Okay. In short, you can write down it. X is equal to MF. What is MF? 1 upon the whole square root. That is magnification factor into this term y square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n square. Understood? Then the fourth comparison is phase angle. Here phase angle is given by tan inverse 2 zeta omega upon omega n upon 1 minus omega upon omega n square. Same phase angle is also true for force vibration due to support. Same angle is there. Okay. Now here we are going to define new term. That is a motion transmissibility. What do you mean by motion transmissibility? Means how much motion is transmitted from the machine to the vibration. If any machine is vibrating, okay. So how much vibrations are transmitted to the foundation? Foundation is nothing but the base or support. So what is capital X? Capital X is the amplitude of vibration of machine, that is mass. And what is capital Y? It is amplitude of vibration of support. Okay. So what is the ratio? Capital X upon capital Y. It is known as a motion transmissibility is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n square upon the whole square root. From where this has come? See this equation. This Y, if we take on left hand side, this left hand side will become dimensionless parameter, and that is only known as a motion transmissibility. So X upon capital Y is equal to this remaining thing. The same we have written here under the title motion transmissibility. Okay. Now here we have defined the new angle alpha. What is alpha? I will show you in the next diagram. Okay. So here, remember, no? We'll go there. This alpha we have defined new term. See here. This we have found out this alpha. Okay. What was that angle alpha? We have assumed K is equal to Z cos alpha, C omega is equal to Z sin alpha. And from ratio, we got this value alpha is equal to tan inverse C omega upon K. And we put the value of C omega upon K, that is 2 zeta omega upon omega n. So this alpha is the new term we have defined here. That is also known as the angle between force transmitted, that is the notation is FTR, and displacement vector alpha. So alpha is equal to tan inverse 2 zeta omega upon omega n. We'll see that in the next diagram. When we'll study in detail transmissibility, that time I will explain you angle alpha. I will show you in the diagram also. Okay, that is in the next lecture. Then second part is relative amplitude. Okay, the same case we are studying force vibration due to support excitation. Okay, first part we have finished. That was the absolute amplitude. Now this is the second part, that is relative amplitude. Because your mass is also vibrating, your support is also vibrating, and there is a relative amplitude between support and mass. So relative amplitude is applicable only in third case. There is no relative motion applicable to case number 1, that is force vibration due to external excitation, and case number 2, that is force vibration due to unbalanced force. Okay. So we have seen this equation, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to ky into ky plus cy dot. Remember, no? Let us go there and cross check this equation. See here, we have written this equation. Okay, equation number 2. We have derived this by applying D'Alembert's principle. Mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to ky plus cy dot. Okay. Now we have to study this equation to find out the relative amplitude. Okay. So this is the equation. Now, as we want to find out relative amplitude, we have to assume certain relative term, no? So let us assume capital D be the relative motion of mass with respect to support. See, in some book they have used the notation capital D for relative motion. In few books they have used capital Z as a relative displacement. So don't confuse between D and Z. Here Z we have utilized for some other purpose, but here for relative motion we have used the term capital D. Okay, so what do you mean by capital D? Is equal to x minus y. It is a relative motion. Okay, what is the motion of mass with respect to support? So that is x minus y. This is a very general term. Capital D is equal to x minus y. Therefore, what do you mean by x? D plus y. Take this y on this side. Okay, x is equal to d plus y. Now differentiating this, d dot is equal to x dot minus y dot. So what will be x dot? D dot plus y dot. This y dot I have taken here. Similarly, differentiating twice, what will we get? D double dot is equal to x double dot minus y double dot. Therefore, x double dot is equal to d double dot plus y double dot, because this we have taken on this side. Okay, now see in this equation, okay, I want to write this equation in terms of relative motion. That means I have to replace x dot and x double dot. Okay, so putting the value of x dot and x double dot in terms of d and y into equation 2. Okay, so what will you get? M is equal m into bracket. What is x double dot? See here, d double dot plus y double dot. So d double dot plus y double dot plus c into x dot. So what is x dot? D dot plus y dot. So d dot plus y dot plus k into x. So x is replaced by d plus y is equal to, right hand side you keep it as it is, ky plus cy. Now see, everything here is in terms of relative term d and y. Okay, open this bracket. Md double dot plus my double dot plus cd dot plus cy dot plus kd plus ky is equal to ky plus cy dot. Okay, now see, this ky and this ky will cancel out. Then cy dot and this cy dot will also cancel out. So what is remaining now? Md double dot plus cd dot plus kd is equal to this my double dot you take on right hand side. So it will become minus. Okay, so this is our equation of motion. Md double dot plus cd dot plus kd is equal to minus my double dot. Okay, this is a relative motion equation, but we want to write down this in terms of our regular format, that is in terms of SHM. Okay, so you know that y double dot is equal to minus y omega square sine omega t, because y is equal to small y is equal to capital Y sine omega t. Therefore, y dot is equal to y omega cos omega t. Therefore, y double dot is equal to minus y omega square sine omega t. Okay, so putting the value of y double dot here. So this minus sign and this minus sign will become plus here. Okay, so left hand side will remain as it is. Md double dot plus cd dot plus kd is equal to, minus minus sign will get cancelled. So my omega square sine omega t. My omega square sine omega t. This is the final equation of motion for relative motion for force vibration due to support excitation. Understood? So what is the value of FO here? See, if we compare this equation with the equation of force vibration due to external excitation, this is the equation. Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx is equal to Fo sine omega t. So Fo is equal to My omega square. My omega square. Understood? Now we have to compare their solution also. So comparing, say, first case, that is force vibration due to external excitation, and comparing this third case of relative equation of motion. Okay. Now everything we have put in the table. Comparison of table 2. What we are comparing? Force vibration due to external excitation on left hand side and force vibration due to support excitation, the relative amplitude on in the right hand side column. Okay. So what is the first comparison? Equation of motion. This is as usual mx double dot plus cx dot plus ax is equal to Fo sine omega t. And what did we get here? Equation of motion for relative amplitude. Md double dot plus Cd dot plus Kd is equal to My omega square sine omega t. Then second comparison is particular solution. Xp is equal to capital X sine omega t minus phi. And here particular solution is Xp is equal to, X will be replaced by capital D because here is a relative motion. So D into sine omega t minus phi. Okay. The third comparison is steady state amplitude. The steady state amplitude in case of force vibration is given as capital X is equal to XO. What is XO here? Zero frequency deflection, which is FO upon K upon square root of the whole thing. Okay. Or we can also write down in short, X is equal to magnification factor into FO upon K. That is XO. XO into MF. FO upon K into MF. Okay. What is the steady state amplitude here? That is a relative steady state amplitude, which is given as capital D is equal to, again the formula is same, FO upon K. So put the value of FO here. We know FO is equal to My omega square upon K upon the whole square root. Okay. So in short, we can write down capital D is equal to magnification factor, that is 1 upon this whole thing into My omega square upon K. Okay. The fourth comparison is phase angle. Phi is equal to tan inverse 2 zeta omega upon omega n upon 1 minus omega upon omega n square. It will remain same here also, phase angle. There, it is not going to change. Okay. Now here we want to write down the same equation, this one, steady state amplitude, in terms of dimensionless form. Okay. So this Y, if you take here, it will become D upon Y, capital D upon capital Y. That means it is a ratio of relative amplitude to the amplitude of support vibration, D upon capital Y. What will remain here then? M omega square upon K. If you take this K, if you take this M below K, what will be K upon M? Omega n square. So your right hand side numerator will become omega square upon omega n square. Okay, see, the same thing is written here. And that is known as a relative motion transmissibility. D upon Y is equal to omega upon omega n square upon the whole square root. This is the relative motion amplitude. Okay, relative motion transmissibility. That means how much motion is relative motion is transmitted. Relative means relative motion of mass with respect to support. That is a D. And capital Y is the amplitude of vibration of support. Okay, so there are three motion terms here: capital X, capital Y, capital D. What is capital X? It is the amplitude of vibration of mass. What is capital Y? Amplitude of vibration of support. And what is capital D? It is a relative amplitude of motion between the support and mass. Okay, so here we are ending the lecture. Now immediately I will be taking the next lecture. Okay, that is you can say transmissibility. Okay, let me stop here so that I can start other lecture immediately.